Hi, welcome to Ikate's Crossing. Tonight I'm going to talk about my journey, but we're going to begin by calling in the elements. I'm just going to cast a circle. This is what works for me. Everybody's different. This is my calling in the elements of the east. That's what I begin with. I'm just going to light tea light here. As I light this, as I light this candle, I invite the light and the love into our circle. As I light the incense, I bring in the love and light, the divine awareness, into our circle. Take a nice deep breath. Hi, Queen of Owls. I'm just going to cast the circle, calling the elements of the east to tend this rite with love and light. Calling the element of the south to tend this rite with love and light. Calling the element of the west to tend this rite with love and light. Calling the element of the north to tend this rite with love and light. Lord and Lady, you're invited to join us as we move through our journey. Blessed be. That's just casting the circle. We're in our protective space. I don't normally do much of my practices. I don't really show online, but I just wanted to sort of share that as one aspect of just calling a circle quickly as we move through. So what I'm going to do now is just talk about my journey, how it began, show some of my tools, show some of the books that I've read with and worked with, and also look at the tarot deck and the Lenormand deck, which are pagan, the spiritual witchcraft, silver witchcraft tarot deck, and the pagan Lenormand, which are two decks that I feel are very sort of that I've worked with, that sort of envelops the pagan spirituality. So what I'm going to talk about is my pagan journey. So over 20 years ago, I'd been going through a difficult time and was exploring myself, my beliefs, my faith. In the public library, I picked up several different books. One book I picked up by Anne Mora, Green Witchcraft. Suddenly my life made sense. I discovered a local store that had a few books, crystals, etc. related to witchcraft. I picked up several books from Silver Ravenwolf. These books got me to understand the path I am drawn on and why, what it meant to me at that time. I purchased a few things to assist me on this journey. I got into purchasing the Witchcraft magazine. It was an Australian magazine by Lucy Cavendish, and I found myself introduced to a variety of witches within Australia mainly, and Wendy Rule, a singer, a beautiful Australian soul. The music takes you on a journey. Amazing music. I still listen to her now. I also got some new books from Scott Cunningham. I became involved with witchschool.com online, Carillion tradition, and worked through the courses I studied. I dedicated myself to the path. After a year and a day, I went through my own initiation. I got involved with a local coven as well and spent some time learning within a group. I spent some time with the divine masculine doing partner work and rituals. My journey developed. As I began with this journey, I worked with Vesta, the Roman goddess, and she spoke of the hearth. She spoke about how important the hearth was. It was that connection that you had with other people, where you sat and you talked and you learned and you connected with other souls of like mind. So that was a part of my journey for a long, long time. Hashnaway came through, a spirit guide. She is Native American. She's just a beautiful soul who assists and guides with love. She's helped me through many difficult times. Haitian Way has also helped me a lot in spiritual work. So, anyway, so over the years, different things happened for me through the journey. I've had different guides come through and different experiences. Animal totem came through as I began to understand what an animal guide would be. And I connected with the wolf on many levels, but also connected with the hawk. The hawk was a huge connection for me in regards to spiritual messages. I was involved with the New Zealand Pagan Festival. First time as part of the crowd. Second time I did readings for the two days, which was amazing. Also over time I have journeyed in many different ways and developed, and during, just very, very quickly, I don't want to go into too much depth, but basically in 2017 should I say, Hecate. What happened is Hecate arrived. Anyway, Vesta arrived first and told me that she would be stepping back from assisting me in my journey, as it was time to allow me some new growth, some new developments, some changes. So Hecate came and she showed me some crossroads signs, and said that would be part of as part of my business. But she made it really clear that when I spoke of my business, it was Hecate. But when I was speaking about her, it was Hecate. So that's why I always say Hecate's crossing instead of Hecate. Hecate is the individual, the deity that I work with, while Hecate's crossing is the business. So that's the difference that I wanted to explain as part of it. So just sort of wanted to talk about, so really that was just the beginning of my journey, how it started, and the development and that I've been through, the sense of beginning the journey with different groups and people and developing within myself. So with that in mind, this is my athame. Just to show you, this is my athame. Oops, I moved the chalice out of the way. So this is my athame that I use, and it's not to be used for cutting anything. It's just for ritual work in regards to the elements, and like when I'm doing a full ritual. I know I didn't use it before, but when I'm doing a full ritual, I'll use this to cast a circle and invite the elements and the Lord and the Lady in. And when I'm working with Hecate, for that time as well, or working with any god or goddess that I'm working with, I will use that. That's my the broom I use is like a symbol of the wand, with being wood. Okay, I have this Himalayan salt for the earth, a tea light for fire, and I just realized the incense. This is not a good lighter, actually. It's not the best lighter to use. But yeah. And I have the pentacle that I created myself for the earth as well. I have lots of little things on my altar that I would normally put on an altar in regards. I have the villain Lindorf. This little goddess here, I connect with my goddess. There's no, for her, she's so beautiful. This is another aspect of the goddess that I use. and this as well. Little piece. And then my chalice here has 3 goddesses on it, and that's my representation of Maiden, Mother, and Crone. The FMA for me is very much a significance of the masculine energy, especially when you're doing ritual work where you have the chalice, and you, a lot of times when I'm doing some of my I have the beverages, when I'm doing that part of the ritual, the offering, I put the FMA inside, so that's connecting the phallus with the womb, masculine and feminine energies. Oops, let's do that to put it in the right way. I like to make sure it's put away properly because we don't want any accidents or anything like that. So that's some of my tools I can show you. There are other aspects as well, but that's the main aspects. Okay, so let's look at some books that I have. I don't have all the books that I had before because some books disappeared in a shift with some tarot decks and everything, but anyway. So I've got Scott Cunningham's books, which are amazing. A guide for the solitary practitioner and a guide for the solitary, just different ones there, different copies. A great book I've got here is The Wicca Unveiled. This one here is really good because it talks about, this is by J. Phillips Rhodes. This is different rituals. This is a really good ritual when you want to type up for a ritual, want to look at a ritual for a Sabbath or for a moon phase or for something in particular. This is really good. And it has the witch's rule in it and a whole lot of other information. Raising power in the wheel dance in that as well. It's quite a lot. It's got the moon, calling down the moon and calling down the sun. The other book I really love is Pagan Rites of Passage by Pauline Campanelli and Dan. This is a really fantastic book. This goes through all the rites of passage. So this is a really beautiful book. Got so much fantastic information in different areas with coming of age and birth and hand fasting and things like this. This is a fantastic book as well. Another great author is Marion Green. This one's in Practical Magic, book Transformation Spells and Mind and Magic. I wish I had Anne Mora's book again, but unfortunately I don't. And Silver Raven Wolf, of course. The Craft Companion, A Witch's Journal by Dorothy Morrison. This is lots of little chants and spells. And it has a journal side as well that you can write in, which is quite cool. So this has got like spell for strong family bonds or lasting friendships, spell to rekindle romance, spell to bring rain. But it's all about your intention and your mind and where you're at. This Witch School book was, of course, from the Carillion tradition, witchschool.com. This is the ritual theory and practice. So this is a really good book as well on rituals and connecting to the Sabbats and that. This is a really great book. Love it. Then you're doing extra things like the Encyclopedia of Mind, Magic and Mysteries. This is really good sort of study book. Oh, I better remove some of these books, otherwise I'm going to end up with a big pile on the floor. And we don't want any of that with the tea light there. Let's move that tea light to the back. So this one here, Mind, Magic and Mystery. This is another great book. It's got lots of great information in it about all sorts of things. It's showing the Anafuda, the Japanese cards in there. It's got the palmistry hand and it's got the dice and it's got homeopathy and herbalism and pendulums and the dowsing. It's got lots and lots of information. So this is a really good book to learn and study, and you want to enhance your learning. That's a really good book as well. I've got another couple of books down here. Let me just shift these out of the way because you end up with them all over the place. You don't want to lose. Don't want them to fall out all over. So the other book I've got is How to Make White Magic. So what I did with my journey is, like, I studied for a year and a day before I took up my initiation. So, and during that time was a lot of self-discovery, and it wasn't really until after that that I really sort of started to get into the full-on. I mean, there was a little bit of, as you journey through the first year, you are learning a lot about self-discovery with magic, as it is casting a circle and doing all those other things. So this is a great book for developing within yourself. Like that other book by Marion Green. This one here, this Practical Magic book, was a very beginner's guide to developing. This is a very beginner's book, which is quite good. And then you've got this one here, which just takes it that much further. So that's quite good as well. So then the last two books I have is a set. It's called The Book of Spells and a sequel as well. So it's just a charm book. Just some really nice. I mean, there's some beautiful books out there. This is just one little one. It's got some quite cute, some quite neat stuff to try. You know, if you want to use something a bit more with spell work and things like that. Now, for me, with doing my spell work, I keep it very quiet. I don't tell you what spell I'm working on at the moment or what I'm doing or anything like that, because you don't want other people's influencing your spells. So I keep it very, very quiet. Don't talk about what spell I'm working with or what's going on, because you don't want other people to interfere with your spell. So you don't need to tell everybody what spell you're working on at the moment, what you're actually doing or anything like that. If you're doing a working with an intention in regards to love or work or self-development or whatever you're choosing to do, just keep that spell work within yourself, which I think is really important. So there we are. That's another little book there. So just wanted to show that. Now we can get into the tarot deck that I'm working with, that I like to work with. Just putting everything sort of back, so I'm not getting it. I don't want anything to be knocked over, you know, with this sort of thing. So the tarot deck that I've found that for me, that I've looked at a few different sort of pagan or witchcraft books, witchcraft tarot decks, and they're all that sort of Halloween-y type witches, all that fun thing. Well, I found this one, the Silver Witchcraft one, which I think is a great tarot deck for connecting with the pagan side of things. I felt it was very sort of, like for me, the Sun card, you've got this priest here, but I feel like, you know, a Wiccan priest, or, you know, I just feel like he's very, the Strength card has sort of got a green man mask in front. So you feel, I feel like this is very pagan orientated, very Wicca or witchcraft type of energy. So I thought this was a really great deck for that as well. So just showing you some of the images really quickly. If you haven't seen the Silver Witchcraft Tarot, I think this is a great deck for really encompassing that energy. You know, you can really see the energy, the Ace of Pentacles coming through, the potential for what it could be. I love the Ten of Swords. You're not having the, it's very ending without the blood and the, you know, without those sort of disturbing imagery that you get in the traditional tarot. It definitely feels, you know, the Rider-Waite-Smith type decks and those that are similar. This is quite good. I feel like that you don't get that same energy that you would with some of the other decks. I mean, look at the Hanged Man. He's upside down. He's looking at things from a different perspective. He's finding out, what does he need to sacrifice to achieve this result. So I love it. I love the way this deck is done. The Three of Swords, you can see that there's heartbreak there. There's sorrow in some way, and he's offering. There's a sense of offering yourself up, to the beauty, the light, offering yourself up to the light. You've been feeling so heartbroken. So yeah, I love this deck. Just showing you the cards. I've ended up showing you all the cards there. So yeah, for me, this is a very sort of pagan, very Wiccan type of deck. So I love it. I absolutely love the imagery for that reason. I've looked at some decks and they weren't the pagan imagery that I wanted. The other pagan deck I found was, of course, the Pagan Lenormand, and this one's by Gina M. Pace, and the artwork by Franco Rivoli. And I love this. This has got extra man and extra woman in it as well, which I really love. And what it is on a lot of the cards, you will find the four pagans, the two men, two women at the bottom. These are two women. So you can see. And here you've got the four underneath you've got two of them underneath the book. You've got all four in the sun. It looks like it's Stonehenge there, but that's the sun. You've got them riding. An extra one there. You've got four with the pathway. You've got looks like a pagan with a child there, even with a child. There you've got the four pagans with the clouds, with the fish in the garden. You can see them sort of here in the maze. Stork, house, coffin, tree. Looks like they're doing ritual work in front of the tree, a healing. Something to do with, maybe they're doing a healing ritual. Connecting the animal totem, connecting to the powers of the wolf, of the fox. The fox. You've got them with love. That one doesn't really show. That's a man there. Let's see if I can find the other guy. Here's the other guy here. Which is quite good because you've got that diversity. Circle, the whip. Got them playing on the beach with the anchor. That's the dog. Writing the letter, the bird's scythe on the boat. Mountain, flowers, clover. Unlocking the door. You can see that it's a red oak. Not with the mice, of course. With the moon. See someone with the snake. And the lying underneath with the stars. So the Pagan Lenormand is also another deck that is pagan orientated that I felt was quite good. So that's it for me with what I did. Now, any thoughts? That's my journey. I just wanted to share with you a little bit about my practice and what I do. Of course, it's not what everybody else does. It's very individualized. So let's see what the message the cards have for us today. Let's see what message the cards have. So, yeah. Okay, the message from the cards. Okay, we've got Queen of Wands talking about passion, friendship. Friendship seems quite important here. Yes, there may be some battles, some conflicts and things going on. Things moving quite quickly. It looks like there's going to be a lot of passion, a lot of creative energy going on as well. Weird, I'm picking up all the wands. Okay, we've got the Nine of Wands here as well. So the sense of perseverance, about persevering. So friendships are going to be so important because there are going to be some battles. Things may happen quite quickly around us at this time. So it is going to be a sense of needing to persevere. And we know that the light eventually is going to shine on the situation, even though we're going to feel there are some burdens, some things weighing us down. It's all about manifesting our reality, what's important to us at this time, bringing what's important. Super important. And we have the Tower. It's about rebuilding. I get a sense of, even though it feels like everything's going to be falling apart and it's just going to be crazy, this is about rebuilding what's important to us. That's going to be the big thing, the perseverance and the rebuilding and the friendships, even through all the conflicts and the struggles and the vulnerability, sense of vulnerability, the sun exposing things about what's going on and the burdens and what's weighing us down, and and what we, it really asks us that we look below the surface about what's going on. Let's look really deep within ourselves as well. We're looking deep within ourselves and being able to rebuild what's important. So that's the message from the cards. So yeah, I think that's really important. So I think that's going to be it with the Silver Witchcraft. That's the collective message. So let me see if I can do this. Change the banner. I'm going to do that. If you'd like some guidance. So now that I've spoken about my journey, the first 20 odd minutes was about my journey. We've done a collective reading. Now I can offer some guidance if anyone would like some readings. Now that I'm done, oops, let's go back to the thing. So I'm not sure who's here. So if anyone would like a reading, we're in the safe space. I still haven't let go. I still haven't farewelled the elements. Our guides are with us, offering us love and light. So if anyone would like a reading, some guidance from the cards. So I'm not sure who's come in to say hello, so we'll just wait and see who's here and who's around. Now that I've shared the books and shared the tools. So I will grab the Echoes of Nature. Grab the Echoes of Nature. I'm also going to share a message from the cards as well. Let's share what message the Echoes of Nature has for us as well. Blending in. Do we find ourselves blending in, hiding? Things are fairly scary. Oh. It's time to flaunt it. Time to get out there and, Yep, you'd like a message? Would you like a message with the Silver Witchcraft, or will I use the Echoes of Nature cards? You decide what deck you would like me to work with. So I feel like even though you're sort of hiding away and things are a bit scary, It is about flaunting. It is about doing what you need to do, whether that's be online. I'm not talking about going outside and being unsafe. I'm talking about, doing what you want to do to allow yourself to feel happy and feel a bit puffed up. You don't have to hide away and be frightened to be who you need to be. Yep. So would you like the Silver Witchcraft Tarot deck, or did you have a Silver Witchcraft? Right. Cool. Did you have a particular question, or did you just want a message and see what lies ahead for you? I know the buffering and messages can be a bit slow, the lagging. A message? Okay, a message coming through from Darties for Queen of Owls. What message does Queen of Owls need to hear today? What message does Queen of Owls need to hear today? Message for Queen of Owls. I've got the Three of Wands. It's time for a pause, time to reflect. Reflect on your goals. Reflect on where you're headed. What's important to you? Creative energy. What's going to allow you to expand and grow? Very important for you. What's to allow you to expand and grow, create with your creative endeavors? We have this 10 of Pentacles as well in your journey. So it tells us that you're going to have a sense of richness in your life. There is a joyful inheritance coming through, and that doesn't necessarily mean money. It could be an awakening within oneself as well. And it's all about the inner strength that comes from within, the endurance, the stamina, the allowing yourself to just be in the journey, have that ability to walk through it. And Ace of Chalice talks about opening the lid to new possibilities. It could be about a new beginning, a new relationship, something that causes that brings a little bit of romance into your life. But it can also be a sense of bringing something new in regards to something that you're going to love doing, something that you want to enjoy doing, something that's going to make you happy. It's going to lift your spirits. Okay, so take a moment, take a pause, and reflect in the direction that you want to go, that you're moving towards. You're moving towards your goal. Some richness is going to come into your life, so some inheritance of some sort, so a wealth in some way. And it doesn't necessarily mean financial. It can also be a wealth of health. It can be other aspects as well, which has got a sense of security maybe, or some health as well. So it feels like you're going to definitely receive something that's going to give you some wealth. And it's all from your own endurance, your own inner strength that's coming through. And that's going to, once you have that strength and that ability, you're going to endure and get through whatever's going on for you right now. It's going to open the lid to new possibilities. And that'll be something that's going to give you the sense of love, a new romance, a new emotional lift. Feels like it's going to give you an emotional lift. So I hope that gives you something to think about and reflect on and see where things are going to move for you. It definitely feels like the moon here, finishing here with the moon, reflecting in the cup. There's definitely a sense of a lot of reflection going on, allowing yourself to acknowledge your cycles. Can be very about, definitely about lifting your mood. So it's definitely about your moods. And I know things at times can feel like they're up and down, and that's normal, but I'm getting a sense of being uplifted with the Ace of Chalices here. I feel like the ace is sort of giving you the potential to actually feel uplifted as it's a new beginning. So that's something to think about. So that's the message I have for you, Queen of Owls. So I hope that sort of gives you something to think about. All the incense starts to get into your throat, doesn't it? So I hope that helps. Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. Astrology, perfect. And yes, a lot of reflection. Thank you. Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. That's cool. It's such a beautiful deck to work with. I reckon it's one of the best sort of pagan type decks that I've actually come across that really give you that sort of spirituality, that spiritual energy. Such a great deck. Cool. I'm pleased that was able to help. Whew. That's cool. So I'd love to hear. So I don't know what you. I'd love to hear your sort of feedback on what you thought about what I shared, or was there something you want to talk about your own practice, or what interests you in regards to Wicca or witchcraft or paganism? What sort of path do you follow? Anything you want to share would be interesting. So I'd love to hear a little bit more about your path, if you like, if you want to share. If not, that's okay too. I might just start getting a drink organised for later. Get everything sorted as we sort of sit and relax and chill. Get a turmeric coffee for later. Oh, it's actually not coffee, it's actually a turmeric latte. Oh, I get quite hot. So sort of cool down a bit. Feeling the energy and the love and the connection. Crazy. It's ready for when I settle. "24/7 caregiver to my 28-year-old daughter." Oh, okay, 64. All right. Wow. You are totally busy. 24/7 caregiver. Wow. Full on. Wow. It's huge. It's definitely a tough path at this time with everything that's going on. Yeah, totally. Wow. It's rewarding. Oh, that's good. Good that you are able to see the rewards in what you do. That's awesome. Oh. So where are you? Queen of Owls, where are you? I'm in New Zealand. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. Yes, they can be wonderful teachers. Are you in the USA, North Carolina? Okay. So what are your restrictions within your within North Carolina? What are your restrictions? Are you in lockdown? In New Zealand, we as a whole, we're supposed to be basically in complete lockdown and only going out for supermarket and emergencies and maybe a little bit of a walk, bit of fresh air, as long as you're social distancing. But I'm not quite sure how well we're doing as a whole. You're on lockdown as well? Okay. We're supposed to be on complete lockdown. Anyone over 70 is definitely supposed to be in lockdown. You're the same as us, groceries and emergency only. Yeah. But so many people are not following the rules. We're on over 800 people now that have got the case, but we only have 4.5 million in New Zealand. And we're basically being told that if we don't obey the lockdown rules, we're going to end up with curfews, and we're going to end up with, in a year's time, we could end up with nearly 90% of New Zealand gone if people are not sensible. I'm in total lockdown because I have low immune system, so I have to be very careful. Same here. You're the same. Yeah. I think now the rest of the world, like we've been in nearly 2 weeks now, basically. I think nearly 2 weeks. I think we've been in complete lockdown, and our Prime Minister sort of went quite quick. So now I feel like the rest of the world's starting to sort of catch up a little bit. With the, of course, with the, we've only had one death, so we're very lucky here in New Zealand that we haven't had any more. We're very lucky that we've only had one death so far. And we've had a few people that have recovered, so to speak, even though they do say, you've just started this week. Okay. Yeah, everything's so different with you guys in the States, with having different states. I mean, each state has its own restrictions, basically, which makes it very hard. Same as Australia is the same. They all have different restrictions as well. We're lucky in New Zealand as a whole, we're covered as a whole. So whatever happens in our main cities or in our main regions also happens locally as well. It's like it's keeping us complete in sync with the whole of the New Zealand. So that's quite good. But you'll always get people who don't listen, who go out and do more than they want to do. Yeah, each state is different. Yeah. I think that what makes it really hard to keep it contained when you don't have a uniform, when when you're not all completely in alignment with each other, when you're all doing something different, each state is different, and then you're not getting the uniformity in it all. I think that makes a big difference. So we're hoping that being in New Zealand that we're able to at least keep it to a degree. But I think what's happening is some people who have come back to New Zealand are not doing their self-isolation, and because they're not doing their self-isolation, that's when the transference comes, the community transference, and that comes into play, when the cross infections and things like that, because people aren't self-isolating when they're supposed to, or they're out and about and they're mixing with more than just a couple of people. They're moving out of their bubble. So we're hoping that we're going to keep it contained, but it's pretty hard to know at this stage. Who knows when it's going to. We're sort of hoping not too far away that we'll sort of get some sort of semblance out of it, but don't know. I think thank goodness for these lives. I mean, I spend, like Becca from Becca Talks and Tarot, and Simon from the Hermit's Cave, and it's sad that some aren't listening, that's for sure. I think we're really lucky, like with Tarot Oracle and all those that are doing lives, the Night Reader Tarot and Mystical Cats. She's doing readings, and all these people that are doing lives, and that makes such a difference. Kelly from Truth and Story, and those lives certainly keep me going, during the day and that's why I do my lives at this time. And I know not a lot of people are around, but that's okay. I sort of feel like I can get out the information I want. Yeah, the online community is amazing. Certainly is. There's some beautiful souls out there doing some fantastic videos on tarot, the VRs. I've decided, so I caught up with some of my VRs today, so that was quite good. So we'll get a few of them over the next couple of days. I sort of uploaded and scheduled a few of the VRs, so catching up on them was quite good. I did a couple today, and there's another one tomorrow, and then the next one Sunday. So yeah, because we're Friday here. We're Friday night, and it's 9:51 p.m. Friday night, 9:51 p.m. And I know it's some people will be asleep, and some people are doing their own thing or whatever, but because it should be nearly 10 a.m. on a Friday, nearly 10 a.m. Friday in the UK. You live in isolation, so not much. Yeah, I don't go out a lot. I do have a few friends over normally, but I don't go out a lot because I'm an empathic. I'm not very good in large crowds. So I actually prefer the isolation. I'm not doing too badly anyway. The only change for me is that my daughter and her friend's been living with us this month, with my mum and I. Almost 5 o'clock for you. Wow. You're going to be exhausted. I hope you got some sleep before you came on. What I was going to say was, the difference for us is that my daughter is living here. She would normally be at her course. Of course, she'd be, because she's doing fashion diploma. She's doing level 5. This is her first term, and she's doing fashion design diploma. You can't handle being around a lot of people too? Yeah, I'm the same. So my daughter, that's the hard part, is my daughter and her friend is living with us. So that's sort of that energy is, and they want to be out doing things with their friends. They don't want to be stuck here, but unfortunately they have to be. So, And, my mum's in her 80s, so that's a bit hard on them too, because she wants to know everything that they're up to. These are two girls that are in this, they're 18, so they're used to doing their own thing. And suddenly my mum, their grandmother, basically, she's over 80, and she's like, "What are you doing?" Stresses me out because I pick up on their fear. And yeah, I'm the same. I prefer not to go out. Prefer just to handle around thing. So I mean, the kids are good. They go and do it's quite good with my mum being over 80 and myself, the two of us not going out. The girls do all the groceries, so that's quite good. So it's only those two that are going out, doing the groceries and coming straight back. So that's good. Yeah, I still have my mum. Yeah. Oh, she's as fit as a fiddle, even though she's had a stroke and brain bleeds and the works and shouldn't be doing so much. She's very active. She hates sitting around. She's a very active person. She'll garden and she likes to do things. She'll take she wants to take the dog for a walk, and she wants to do things. She's used to doing her own groceries and going and doing her own shopping or whatever. So the groceries is now out, of course, and when she's walking the dog, she has to make sure that she's not around other people or anything like that. And I try and stay away from her as much as I can. The two of us are in separate houses. She's at the house at the front, and I have my own space at the back. Yeah, really lucky. Very, very lucky. Yeah, because I'm 51, and of course I'm not seeing my older boy. He's 19. He's with his father at the moment. He's been living at that place for a long time, so he's had to stay there. And my youngest daughter, she's 15, and she's living with her auntie at the moment because she can't be near my mum, and that with being so young, and that would just be too much. So better for her to be at her auntie's place. So her father's sister. So, I mean, that's really good, but it means I don't get to see so there's two children I don't get to see for the month or longer, depending how long this isolation's for, of course. So yeah, we're very lucky. We're very lucky in New Zealand that our Prime Minister got straight into it, but it's hard not seeing the other children, but really lucky I've got my mum around. That's really good, and my daughter and her friend that's living with us, so it's good. Yeah, we're very lucky. But definitely you have 3 in their 40s, and then your angel who's 28. Okay, you got 3 in their 40s, so you got 4 children. Wow. Busy bee. Yeah, my oldest, like I said, I'm 51. So I had my first child when I was 30. I was 31 when I had Jordan. I was 31 when I had Jordan, so 30, 31. So yeah, that's so that's my oldest, and then I've got my 17-year-old or 17, 18-year-old that's with us now, the fashion designer, and then the young one at 15. So yeah, I was quite a lot older, really, being in my 30s with my first child. So yeah, good though. Wow, it's been nearly an hour. So that's I want to try and limit my time on here because I only have like 20 hours a month with StreamYard. So I will just need to sort of be careful. You're first at 16. And then you adopted your angel as a single parent. Wow. 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 Very, very difficult job when you're, So you had a lot of support when you were 16? Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. It's such a difficult job at any age, and then to be at wow, you must be a very strong person to do that. So we're lucky in New Zealand. We have a really good midwifery service that's free here. Midwives that are free, and they're awesome when you're a young single parent. And we actually have a school here. Oh, your dad left right after the third child was born. Wow. That makes it so tough. Wow. Wow. Makes it such a tough thing to do. You must be so strong. I mean, yeah, we're very lucky in New Zealand. Our childcare, up until our health system, basically, we have free for children. Our healthcare with free for children under the age of 18. Once they reach 18, then it becomes a cost. But our healthcare for children, you don't feel strong? Well, you are strong. To achieve what you've done and to keep moving through life and being there for your child, for your children, even when feeling like you've been left alone. It's not an easy thing. I mean, I left my ex-husband the week I moved out. His girl, yeah, our healthcare is amazing. Our healthcare in New Zealand is really amazing. We don't need, if we go to the hospital, we don't have to have insurance. You don't have to have health insurance. It's not, we don't have to have it in New Zealand. You're not required to pay for health insurance. So that's really good in New Zealand. We don't have what the struggles that your hospitals and things do. I mean, we don't have the different hospitals where you have the how you have the different non-profit and profit hospital, for-profit hospitals. We don't have that. Yeah, we're very lucky in New Zealand. I know you guys just struggle. It is so sad to see what you guys know. We have healthcare that's very affordable in New Zealand, basically. Very affordable healthcare. I mean, there are available private hospitals for certain things, like, certain surgeries, but generally everything's done within New Zealand free. Like, all our surgeries are not charged. We're not charged for any of our surgeries. Yeah, we're very, very lucky. We are super, super lucky in New Zealand. I see what you guys go through, and I read some of the articles and watch, some of the documentaries, and I just think, oh my God, we've got such a blessing in New Zealand. We've got an amazing health system. We've got an amazing Prime Minister. We have Prime Minister. We don't have President in New Zealand. We have Prime Minister, and she is amazing. She was so onto it right from word go. When they realized, as soon as they got the very first, basically, they were onto it. The very, very first case of the virus, our Prime Minister was onto it. She's like, this has got to happen. This and this and this has got to happen. We've got to get this sorted. We've got to get this stopped. And as soon as it started to see that it was going to be expanding, like, okay, what do we need to do next? This is it. Dum, 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 dum. Like, everything was done really quick. There wasn't any waffling going on. There wasn't, oh, maybe this, maybe that. It's no, this is it. And like, we've had 3 people, like, mainly the police are just trying to educate people, but they've actually arrested 3 people for not following the social distancing rule. So that's been really good. They've arrested a couple of tourists and put them into isolation because they were flaunting the self-isolation rules. Are just totally onto it. Like, there's just, I just feel like we are so lucky and so blessed in New Zealand. We're just, so hopefully we can contain it, and, you know, we can start to, yeah, it's amazing. Our Prime Minister every day is telling us how many of, we've had one death in New Zealand because of our lockdown, because of our rules and the way that they're sorting it all through. So we are super, super lucky. Yeah, we're very blessed indeed. You know, you can't, nothing to complain in New Zealand with, that's for sure. And I've been very, very lucky in receiving my, you know, I didn't know about what our postage would be like, but I even got Tarot Oracle's deck, Richard's deck. Have you watched Tarot Oracle with his readings? I think he does 6:30 Texas time. I think he's in Texas. So he did this artwork, which is absolutely gorgeous. This is paintings. I don't know if you'd seen his deck, but I just think it's stunning. Yeah, you've watched him. So this is his. So, I mean, I received this in just a couple of weeks. I did not expect it so quickly. I mean, he was so onto it with his Kickstarter, and he's got real integrity with the way he's done his deck and that. I love it. Yeah, it's beautiful. The artwork's amazing, and it's so easy to read. I have downloaded his PDF for his book, but I haven't read it yet. I'm just loving the cards. I love this one here, blending in. It's so cute. And the other one I quite like. Let's see if I can see it. I haven't got my glasses on, so I'm hoping I can see it. This one with listening. Dogs. The dogs, I think, oh, and the comfort dog. So cute. And the Night Reader Tarot had this for our message today, with friendship. That's Brianna's cat. She's quite cute. Just amazing. Amazing, amazing artwork. So talented. I'm waiting for his Leninmand deck to come out. Should be cool. I love the happiness one. The dog with the tongue hanging out. I reckon that is so cute. Strength. I mean, they're just beautiful. They're just stunning. Honesty. I love that. Jumping to conclusions. Right. Inspiration. Love that. So, yeah, I think they're just gorgeous. Oh, this one's cute. Unexpected friends. Little mouse in there. Yeah, they're just gorgeous, aren't they? Aren't they just stunning? He's only got like 20 decks left or something. I don't think they'll last long. He only printed off 100 or something. So it's going to be quite an exclusive deck. It's not something that's going to be picked up by mass market or something like that. I think he just wanted to just share it out, just a few. Intensity. That's what that one was. Leadership. Oh, this one's cute. The loyalty one. I love that too. The loyalty. I love the dogs. I just think they're just terrific. Personal power. Speaking out. Wisdom. High perspective. That's cute. Saving for winter. Yeah, I just think they're amazing. Looking to the future. So I'm really pleased I got, like, I wouldn't normally do Kickstarters because really the decks become quite expensive for me. Even a deck that does not seem expensive in the States, by the time it comes to New Zealand, I'm paying over 100 New Zealand dollars, basically. I'm basically spending over 100 New Zealand dollars by the time they get here. So this is a real treat for me to spend that sort of money on a deck, but it is something very exclusive. So, like, it's something very special. So yeah, if we buy something from the States, you know, we're paying at least 20 to 30 American dollars in delivery. So, I mean, $20, $30 in you know, between 15. Yeah, shipping's ouch. Yeah, very expensive to buy our decks. That's one reason why I haven't been buying off, I shouldn't really say this too loudly, but I'm not buying off Amazon, is because delivery fees just gets too expensive. So I actually buy from Book Depository, and they've been fantastic. They've been shipping out pre-orders and everything to me, so I haven't had a problem at all with them, touch wood. But because they do free delivery, so, and the decks are like half the price than what I'd pay here, or 50, you know, 75, you know, 25% cheaper. So it makes a big difference. But if I buy from the States, yeah, really super expensive. So that's why I don't do a lot of indie decks, or you know, I don't buy off Etsy very often because it just becomes too expensive. I'd love to buy more indie decks. I would love to. But even like, I bought a Major Arcana deck, but it is a New Zealand one, and like, it's coming off Kickstarter. And it's still $60. It's still $50 plus $10 shipping because it's been shipped here in New Zealand. But it's still $50 for a 22 card, you know, 22 Major Arcana. So that's why Kickstarter indie decks are so expensive. They're so beautiful, but by the time you put them into New Zealand dollars, it adds up. But yeah. Doesn't seem to stop me spending much though. Yeah, can make it really expensive. That's why I buy off Book Depository. When you're paying $20, $30 for a deck, it's not so bad. 20 to 30 New Zealand dollars for a tarot deck is not too bad. Maybe 40 for some. But when they start getting up to, like the Starman Tarot I got, but I bought that here in New Zealand, and I paid, you know, the David Bowie tarot deck, the Starman Tarot, and I paid $75 here in New Zealand. That was sort of my more expensive tarot deck here. But you're still paying $50, $60, $70 here in New Zealand. Easy. So yeah, and most Oracle decks will be $45, $50 in New Zealand. Where if I buy them off Book Depository, I'm paying between $20 and $30. Yeah. Well, this deck here, I'll show you something that's going to surprise you. Okay. This is a New Zealand Oracle deck. Okay. Now, I went into the local store to have a look at it. It was over 80 New Zealand dollars. It's an Oracle deck. Okay. Hasn't got that many cards. It's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13. 20, 22, 23, 24. I think it's about 40 odd. It's about 40 odd cards, right? Okay, so I looked at this. In New Zealand, I went into the local shop and it was $89, $90 basically, 90 New Zealand dollars for the set, right? I paid from Book Depository $59 with free delivery. So, I mean, I'd like to support the local shop. That's so expensive. You know, $30, $40 is a big, $40 is a big difference. $30 is a big difference. You know? So, yeah. That's one reason why I buy. I like Book Depository. Some people seem to have had trouble from it, but I haven't. But I think people forget about being a little bit patient, having a little bit of patience see, I'm used to decks not arriving for 3 or 4 weeks. We expect things to take a good month to get here. So I'm used to, not getting my deck straight away. Where I think sometimes when you've had Amazon and they do same day delivery or 2 days, 3-day delivery, and suddenly you're having to wait for 2 or 3 weeks, it can sometimes be hard to be patient. I think that's part of it too, is and sometimes they will order stuff and they won't have enough for all the orders, so they've got to because suddenly everybody's ordered it, especially with the pre-orders. Sometimes you'll think you'll only get so many, and then things happen. You just have to be patient and just wait for the next. Just say, hey, look, I didn't get whatever I was supposed to get. And some people don't like to wait. Some people just have got no patience. So I think sometimes you just got to sort of say, hey, look, I haven't received my parcel as yet. Just want to know, has it been dispatched, or what's going on, especially if you haven't received an email to say that it's been dispatched. You just sort of say, hey, look, I had this on order, I see that it's available now, have you processed my order? And they can say yay or nay. But some people can sort of get a bit harsh with it. But no, I actually found Book Depository brilliant. They've got, I just ordered the mini steampunk, the Barbara Moore one, not the Caitlin Matthews one. Even though I do I've actually just saw somebody else today, the steampunk tarot, but they did the Caitlin Matthews steampunk. And I just saw that unboxing, and I like the imagery. It's quite different. But I've got the Barbara Moore one coming in, just the mini. I quite like mini decks because they're quite good when you go on the. I don't know if you looked at my storage video, but I had. This is a bit rough. My sewing's not that great. Just pre-warn you. My sewing's not that great. But I made this little thing, and it fits 6 decks in, 6 mini decks, basically. So you got pockets to put the little ones in. So I made this. So this is really good when I want to go somewhere and I just want take my mini tarot and oracle decks, mini tarot, and then I can fit a slightly larger one in here. And then I can fold it when it's done properly, when it's without all the bags and it's all done properly. Folds quite nicely. Yeah, so I made this little pouch thing, and then I can just tie this up. And then I've got the 6 decks together. So that's one reason why I've been ordering lots of different minis. Like I've got a Thoth mini and a Rider-Waite-Smith. I don't usually use Rider-Waite-Smith type decks, but I got a universal weight deck, which is a universal deck anyway, universal tarot deck. I used it in my video today with the the life path readings. When I explained about my life path readings, that's the universal tarot that I used in that. But I've also got a mini New Zealand Naturally Tarot deck in New Zealand. It's got New Zealand animals and that on it. So I got that one. That's a mini. And I got the Magna. You don't use I don't normally use Rider-Waite-Smith really for readings, even though I've got the secrets. I'd rather use a TDM, a Tarot de Marseille type deck. I've actually got the Spanish tarot I'm waiting for as well. That should be on its way as well. Terrible. I did all these orders before we went into lockdown. So now I've just got to wait for them. So just waiting. Oh, you're out. Yeah, I use I began working with the Native American Tarot. That's the deck I started with. But a few years ago, I had to go away for a while, and I left my tarot in a big box with some books and things like that, and crystals and all that. Well, the whole few boxes disappeared out of storage, and so I've had to replace all my tarot and crystals and that. So I had to replace my Native American Tarot because that's like my favorite deck. Oh, I'll show you. There's the book. Okay. It used to come as a set, and it came with beautiful cards that were, the old style. I'm talking I'm talking 2000, talking 20 years ago, basically, 1999 or whatever. So anyway, because I had to replace it, I had to buy the book separate, and I got this deck, but it's a different, it's a bit smaller. It's a bit smaller, and it's more plasticky. But anyway, this is the image. So the cards are vessels for cups, of course, shields for pentacles. You've got blades for swords, and pipes for wands. And they've got little keywords on them, like the 8 of blades or 8 of swords is called captive. The 3 of the 3 of pipes, they call it joint effort. And then instead of the 2 of shields, they've got Kachina juggler. So 2 of shields, which is 2 of pentacles. It's Kachina. Got warrior of vessels, maiden and matriarch. So you got warrior, you got maiden, warrior, matriarch, and chief. Yeah, matriarch, and then see, that's the maiden. And then you got chief. So yeah, quite different. That's how. So you got 7 of shields. It's called Trail of Tears. So you really got to look into the book and look at what does the Trail of Tears reference? That journey. What does it really mean? 10 of vessels got happy family. 7 of pipes is counting coup. 11 is justice, of course. 7 they call, instead of saying chariot, it's called the sled. 4, instead of the empress, it's called council chief. 3 of blades, they just call that mourning. The devil they've got. The lovers. The Lovers, they show a young guy on a flute, and the young girl's getting water from the river. So yeah, this is a great. I've been using this. I've actually used this tarot deck for over 20 years, right? 20 plus years I've used this deck, basically. This type of deck, anyway, this deck. And even though I've replaced it with a new one, but it's the same one that I had. And this is the deck that I used in when I first started doing healthy living expos and psychic fairs and markets. I used this deck all the time. This is the only deck I found that actually spoke to me. The Star with Grandmother Spider. Two of Pipes is called the Trapper. Eight of Pipes is Smoke Signals. Strength, of course, Vessels. Ace of Vessels. Four of Shields is called Silence. Oh, you've got the Hermit there as a tracker, someone who was non-native, really. But he was in with the, but he liked he was very much connected to the natives. The Sun, the World. Oh, Five of Shields is Cultivation. Nine of Shields is Thunderbird. So now you've got to find out, what does Thunderbirds mean? Yeah, the book used to be sold as a complete set, but I haven't seen it as a set for a long time. I don't know what Amazon's got, but I got the cards from Book Depository, and then the cards from Book Depository, and then ended up having to get the book separate from Amazon. So I don't know. I really don't know. I know this is you'd have to have a look. Just be very careful that when you do look at it, that you do, if you're going to buy the deck and it says it's got the book, make sure it's a complete set. Check with the seller that they are selling them as a book and deck. Don't just buy the book on its own if you haven't already bought the deck. That's the one thing you do have to be careful. I found on Amazon, like I had to really go through and check, and I couldn't find any sets. I could only find the book at the time, but I don't know whether, and I got it from a secondhand seller, so, or from not Amazon itself. So I really don't know, because I know there's other Native American tarot. So you do have to be careful, because there's another one called Native American Tarot, but it's by a different author, and it's different imagery. So I know that you sort of have to be careful. And there are a couple of, I want to get Sacred Path cards again, but it's still $50, 50 New Zealand dollars, which is not too bad, I suppose, but I just haven't had the extra money I just haven't yet. I've actually been using I actually quite like the shamanic medicine cards. Have you used do you know the shamanic medicine cards? Yeah, I like the death card in this. Quite cool. So, yeah, you have to check. You just have to have a look and just make sure. Don't pay too much. I think I paid I think it was about 5 or 10 American US dollars. I think it was about 10 US dollars for the book. I don't think it was that expensive. And the deck was about 30 New Zealand. I don't know what that is in America. Okay. You haven't seen the shamanic medicine? Okay. Quite a few people have this deck. I'll just get you that. And I'm actually using these together in a read. I use the Native American Tarot with the Shamanic Medicine cards. Okay, that's the book. That's the box. Just so you can see. And I use them together in like I'll use them in the same reading. So anyway, this is quite a few. I have seen different people with this deck. Seems to be sort of quite a popular shamanic. There are lots of, Colette Baron Reid's got a shamanic one. This one is by, oh, let me put my glasses on. I keep forgetting to put them on. Is Barbara Micklejohn Free and Flavia Kate Peters. So this one is quite good. It's got ones like, I think you've got to have like directions. It's got all the directions in it. It's got the worlds. It's got lower world, upper world, and middle world. So it's got the 3 worlds in it. It's got the east, west, south. It's got all that. It's got medicine mask, crystals. It's got flute. It's got the shaman card. See, there's the upper world and middle world. Offerings buried in earth. Bones for casting. So there's yourself. And then it's got a little keyword underneath. It's got tree alive, insects, sea creatures, ancestors, tree people and stone people, which I think are important. Lodge. There's a north. There's a birth. There's cave. That's the medicine shield with protection. Earth. See, it's got the earth as well. Shapeshifter. See, it's got the tools as well. It's got drum. That's air. Well, it's got the elements as well. So it has the air, fire, water. It's got all that as well. 4-legged. So it's got the animals. Sacred site. So that's the rattle. That's the actual journey. There's the fire. There's death, which they've got. This one is transmigration. The death card, we've got transmigration, which is quite cool. Vision quest, which is sexy. There's the water. Medicine bag. It's got the trickster, dream weaver, feathers, plant medicine, prayer. It's got the bells, the conch shell, which I thought was quite cool. The altar. See, there's west. There's the staff, soul retrieval, and medicine wheel. So that's a really good shamanic type deck. So I think it works really well with the medicine wheel type spreads and that sort of thing, the Kachina knife. And I did a video on the spreads as well. So you can sort of see the I don't know why I'm putting that back in there. That's not what I'm supposed to do. Yeah, so those are quite good if you like the Native American. And that was the first tarot deck I got, and I actually got it with the Crystal Alley cards, which I used quite a lot until I got the new edition, Evolution edition. It's quite cool. Oh, you like the shamanic medicine cards? Those are really cool. And they work really well together, do beautiful readings for clients and that. So that's really cool. Well, I've been on for an hour and a half, Queen of Owls. I think I'm going to have to call it quits because it's 10:30. So it is time for me to settle because I don't know, it's going to be a busy day tomorrow again, I think. So thank you for being with me. It's a bit longer than I thought I would be. So let me just close down the elements. Let's finish off this. So I started with the Thank you, Lord and Lady, for being with us at this time as we're moving ahead with our journey. Farewell, element of the North. Thank you for attending this rite with love and light. Thank you, element of the West, for attending this rite with love and light. Farewell and thank you to the element of the South for attending this rite with love and light. Farewell and thank you, element of the East, for attending this rite with love and light. As I now finish, I close this circle. Blessed be. Merry part till we merry meet again. Thank you for being with me. Thanks. I've enjoyed the chat too, Queen of Owls. It's been awesome. Thank you for being with me. I've really enjoyed it. Take care. Blessed be.